So it's a new week. Um, I think it's this week's been largely influenced by news. It was largely influenced uh, by the signing of a peace deal with Iran. So I mean this weekend action was largely influenced by the possibility of a ceasefire. So like we've been seeing, it's been largely news driven price action, not only in Bitcoin, but also in equities and the dollar and just basically every other asset that's in the market. So, but even with a signed deal, peace deal, even then, it's the oil is still pretty high. It's still sitting at about $80. So I wouldn't be too confident. I wouldn't be too positive regarding um, this peace deal. Again, it can be broken at any point, so I just wouldn't be too full on risk. You know what I mean? I will just advise caution and just like anything in this new administration, it's been largely news driven. Like most of the major movements have been uh, news driven or news related. So if you are keen into trading those kind of environments, you're free to do so. But right now, just like the conditions are pretty, the market conditions are pretty dependent on whether it's positive or not. Um, but again, I mean, if we look back into fundamentals, if we look back into macro, and if we look back um, into the fundamentals, like where do we stand monetarily wise, where do we stand macroeconomically wise, where are we at, you know? And it just shows that it's been pretty much, you can see here that um, we experienced, like last week, experienced the gold sell off. This is basically um, on people are thinking that we are going to eventually start raising rates. So this was like the narrative uh, this past week, you know, basically like whenever like gold goes down, basically implies a shift in monetary policy. So in a sense, that's what we're seeing this previous week. Um, we saw a surge due to the back to risk on environment this week. So I think it's going to be pretty telling this week how this new peace deal, how we're gonna deal with this new environment. But I mean, there's a lot of things that signal that may not be long lasting, and it signal that it may just be a whim of the president. It's just like I mean, it's not a coincidence that the deal happened to be on the president's birthday. I mean, it's Sunday. It's just like it was signed just at the president's birthday. So it was. I mean, there's many speculations, right? We could speculate all day and night, but you know, I mean, it's just not a coincidence. So, I mean, you could speculate, you could decide whatever you want to think about the subject. But yeah, I mean, this is where we are right now. Um, I think Bitcoin. I mean, it doesn't really matter whether equities rally. I think Bitcoin is going to still be ranging on the lower ranges, largely because of the bear market. Like I said before, in many of the previous videos, like Bitcoin is experiencing an internal bear market. and many can attribute it to the fact that the 4-year cycle, but there's many reasons behind that. So, I mean, now what we got to be looking for next week is basically just how the market behaves regarding this new peace deal, and just like how these two nations behave. Like if you're going to um, keep attacking each other or not, that's to be seen. But again, it just largely shows that this market is heavily reliant, heavily dependent on macro news, just like geopolitical events. So I just got, I'll still remain cautious. I'll still remain, and take a different, an observant approach. So yeah, I mean, all things being said, oil is still pretty high. It's still the $80 mark. So I mean, it's still pretty dang high. So I mean, so we're just on the lower ranges. So let's see what happens. I mean, anything can really happen. I think it's still pretty volatile. Um, but yeah, let's see how it goes. I think we're just experiencing a little bit of an euphoria here, with the gold surging, and I expect prices to settle, to consolidate once we reach a um, once we hit the cash session. I think we're gonna see um, a little bit of a like consolidation of these prices. Uh, so yeah, I'm just gonna adopt and wait and see approach. I mean, the deal is still pretty recent, so I'm just not gonna do a lot of predictions this time because, well, it's largely dependent on a few people. So you cannot draw a lot of conclusions when it's dependent on a couple of people. So I mean, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. I don't expect things to go much up much further. I mean, Bitcoin just uh, barely just couldn't break 70,000. So there's still not a lot of attention, not a lot of investment on crypto altogether. Um, but yeah, let's see. Let's take a wait and see approach. There's still plenty of time to decide where is this going. But yeah, um, personally, I think it's going to consolidate. If you ask me, I don't think it's going much further in crypto. Um, when equities, I mean, these are the right lines that I drew, and it just dipped. So it was just like there's still a lot of resistance on 30,000, 30,300. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Again, it's like monetary policy wise, it's not an ideal time to go all in. You know, there's many people talking about AI bubbles and stuff. So I would just remain cautious and adopt a wait and see approach, considering this new uh, this new geopolitical environment that just set in on this weekend. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what the next week brings. I think Bitcoin is not going. It's not going somewhere. It's not going anywhere. Um, Equities might rally a bit, but in the case of Bitcoin, I think it's still going to be. It will continue to sell off. I just don't believe that it will change anything regarding Bitcoin. I think it's pretty doomed. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the week, and we're gonna see how the next week goes. So So take care and see us next week.